Hey, we live. What's up, y'all? This is the replay. Trying to make your day. Y'all ready? Let's go. Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the replay where we're trying to make your day. I'm your host, Jabril Rashad, aka Real Deal Jabril. And coming to the stage, joining me again is none other than my co-host, my brothers, man, from another mother. I got Daryl Alexander the Great, as well as Tim Action Jackson. Good evening to you, my brothers.
What's up? What's up?
You
What's
got it,
happening,
man. We
brother?
back in the
Grateful,
house. We
grateful.
back in the house. And y'all know what we like to do. Before we get anything started, be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and share a notification button so we can, notify you all when we're going live. And don't forget to tell a friend to tell a friend. So go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, and share button for us as we continue to grow the channel. So guys, we got quite a bit to cover, man. We missed on yesterday, but we back in the house. We're back in the house. So we're gonna talk about it, get into the first thing first, because we gotta unpack this real quick, man. We're talking about the NBA 2024 draft, which is coming up tomorrow. I think we're less than 24 hours away. So we're gonna see what the Dallas Mavericks gonna do. We know the Atlanta Hawks, they hold the number one draft pick. So we're gonna see what happens, tomorrow, man, and see what our Dallas Mavericks do. Well, I can say me and Tim Dallas Mavericks, you know what I'm saying? But this is the replay show, y'all, the sports culture show. So let's get into this NBA draft and let's see this little mock draft that they have coming out first, guys.
The first round of the NBA draft, and Kyle Boone put together his final mock for us. Reese Shea and Sarr, the two Frenchmen, going 1-2 respectively. Reed Shepard third. Some of our analysts are saying that he could be the best prospect in this draft. Donovan Clingan, by the way, falling a little bit in this mock, down to 7 for the Portland Trailblazers. Let's bring in Kyle Boone.
Okay, you see the top 10 they got right there. We're going to cover the top 30. All 30 teams that are drafting on tomorrow. And they got two guys from France. I think Alex Sarr, he plays over in Perth, man, where Ricky Grace used to play at DA. Yeah,
Yeah.
where Ricky played. And I think he's a teammate of Ricky's son, man, over in Perth. So they got Alex Sarr. He's a 7'1" big man. But they got two friends, man, at the top of the board. So I'll come to you first, D, on this. What do you think about tomorrow's NBA draft, and what do you see as far as talent in this year's draft class?
I think the NBA is just trying to go European so bad, like it's just making my stomach hurt. Like, so we in America, we didn't invent this game, but we perfected this game, and I know for a fact it's millions of brothers who can play this game right now. Why is it? I mean, I don't know if it's our fault or our players' fault that they are just so hungry for overseas talent, European talent. It's that's how, to me, that's how the game is just changing, and that's how it's getting softer and softer, and probably slower and slower, and it's just turning into American Euro league, and I don't like it, man. You can't tell me that something's going wrong somewhere. I don't know if we just trying to be so street and thuggish that the NBA is shying away from those type players. I really don't know, but you can clearly see every year where this is headed. I couldn't even name the top 10 college players because I don't follow it that strong. I follow it during March Madness, but that's about it. But for me to wake up and see they predicting two French dudes to go 1 and 2, like,
I
come
said the
on,
same thing too,
what's
D.
happening with us, man? What happened to the, like, what are we doing, man? Am I missing something?
But DA, you remember when it was a run on a lot of European players years back? I can't think it was early
That's when I
2000,
jumped ship.
and they were sending a message. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is kind of what it reminds me when I saw the two France players when they had to run on Europe. But you should have saw it coming then because the dynamics began to change. If you notice, because now, like you said, they're not used to that physical pounding. Look
Nope.
who's the face of our league. They're trying to make Joker being one of the face of the league. They're trying to make Luca. You see, and they don't take that physical abuse or that physical pounding. The Euro step, man, is again, I hate it, man. I heard Allen Iverson speak on it. I'm like, say, man, you walk. That's a walk every day in any any recreational gym we ever played in growing up, man. You standing in front of a guy, you guarded this guy, you stopped this guy, and he's allowed to take 2 steps to the side. Where you're kidding me, right? But that's the nature where our game has gone because they wanted to make this thing a global thing, man. And so they had to make those certain adjustments. All and let's don't play games. All because of what? Money. We know it was all because of money. So, but TJ, let me come to you real quick on this on tomorrow's draft, the NBA 2024 draft. What's your take on it? You laughing right
boy.
now. What's your take on it?
Boy, y'all got some take, boy. I would say this. I would say the two guys y'all gave us examples for Saul for the wrong. I would take the other two guys, but Luka and Jokic back down everybody that's in the NBA right now. He backs them down with his big old heavy self. And Luka does the same thing. So in that way, they're not soft, but I do understand what you're talking about, the roughness of the past. There's always been a roughness of the past that we have and the strength that we've shown. Even American players are not showing that anymore. So, you know, with this draft is based off a bunch of potential because most of these guys haven't done enough in college. Even when you think about last year's guy and you think about our guy, he didn't do much in college. So he was based off of all potential. And these guys are not doing enough in college now. They leave so quick, you don't get a chance to know them. So the draft is like, you know, it's almost it's almost totally foreign because the two French guys are showing the most potential. One, because he's 7'1" with a long wingspan, and he actually moved really well for a 7'1" guy. So that's why they like him so much. And then the other guy, he's a very nimble 6'9" guy who actually got long arms and got a good offensive game, can drive and stuff like that, and got good handle for his height. And so that's the reason why they're at the top of the draft. And plus, I'll say this: France, in soccer, some of the guys are now getting tall. Instead of having to play soccer or some other sports, they're now playing basketball. And so France has always had a bunch of brothers who will also come from Africa. See, this is the other part about it. They're just not from France. A lot of times, they're from somewhere in Africa, and they move to France. Their parents move to France so they can actually have rights and stuff like that and have a better way of living sometimes for work. So their parents will move there. And so them guys are sometimes not originally from France or some other European places. They're from Africa. That's why they're athletic, strong, and got good height. And so that's part of the reason why so many people, because they don't develop enough in Africa, they just put over a team now over in Africa to develop the guys to stay in Africa so they can actually come from Africa instead of having to go over to Europe to actually be developed. So that's why we get some of our guys from France and stuff like that, because they're being developed in France and not in Africa.
Right. So, well, a lot of times it's just a part of migrating out to going where the best competition is. So I get that part of it. But DA, you brought up something a second ago in referencing some of the college players. Let me just throw some names out there real quick because I'm kind of like you, man. Unless you know you went really deep into the Sweet 16 or NCAA playoffs, I'm not too much familiar with you. But I'm gonna throw some of the college names out there. They got the big guy from UConn. I think it's Donovan. I know he's from UConn. You got Reed Shepherd, who's a shooting guard out of Kentucky. And you have Stephon Castle out of UConn. So those are at least 3 that they're projecting in my draft that can go in the first round. But but again, we got several different draft, mock draft. We just saw the 2 that was coming out of France. But those are 3 college players that they're projecting to go in the top 5 on tomorrow. The 3 names, 2 of them are for UConn and 1 is from Kentucky. So the big guy from, let me see. Oh, let's go into the second part of this, because that's the top 5 in this particular mock draft. But now you have Cody Williams.
Where's Edie? Is he coming out?
Yeah, I'm getting to it in just a second. You have this is the second level to this, the top 10. You got Cody Williams out of Colorado. You got Dalton Knight out of Tennessee. Then you have Reacher, who played at well, actually he's from overseas. And then you got another player by the name of Rob Dillon. He's out of the UK. And then you got Topic. He's overseas. But to your question though, DA, you got the big guy out of Purdue, Zach Edney. He's they got him projected going number 14 to Portland. Number 14 to Portland. So I mean, there's a few guys in here, a few college athletes, man, that's definitely in the top 10, top 30. But looking at the top 10, man, they got those two guys from France coming. But they are sending another message. They are sending another message.
It's a message. Yeah, it's a message.
Yeah.
It's clearly a message. I mean, I don't see how Tim thinks Luka ain't soft. He's one of the softest players in the freaking league. He whine every time he get bumped. That ain't toughness. When you tough, you play through that.
He whines, but he plays hard.
That's why he ain't tough. He whines because he ain't tough.
Meaning that he'll go through guys.
He don't play tough.
He goes through. He gives shoulders
every
to
time.
People.
Every time Luka name come up, Tim.
No, they take his shoulders up. They take his shoulders. So he run into him. He backs them down and push them out. If I come out and I call a foul on you,
backing down ain't tough.
You hit my arm. You want to call me crying, but I'm gonna back you down again.
Backing down ain't tough, Tim.
He keep backing them down, even though they
backing
keep
down. My nephew can back people down. That don't mean you tough.
No, your nephew can't back me down. I
ain't seen a tough player that whine about every call.
Tough people back people down. That's what happens. Other people can't back people down.
That ain't tough.
I have big dudes coming out can't back me down. So
tough ain't backing down.
He's moving and all that kind of stuff. He does that.
If he was tough, he wouldn't whine so much.
No, he's a whiner. That's different. He's a whiner.
I don't know no tough whiner. I don't know no tough whiner. If you tough, you just ball.
Well, LeBron's a whiner. LeBron runs into people, and
he ain't tough. Who said he was tough?
Like crazy,
and he flops
like crazy. Nobody
said he was tough.
Big flop they got.
When have we ever said LeBron was tough?
He runs through them people though. Everybody move out his way.
He ain't tough. He not a tough dude.
The train is coming. Well, let me assert a little something to both of you all's indifference. Luka, you know, last year, when I'm not talking about this year, no, not last year, the season before that, when they was in the playoff, because they missed the playoff last year. But the season before that, they was talking about how he was bodying people up and people was running into him because he has a big frame. This year, I think he showed a lot of resilience because he played through a lot of injuries. So you can kind of look at that and say, well, there's some toughness to him because it's kind of a mental thing if you can play past injuries. I always credit guys because like what did Coach Herman once said, it's a difference between injuries and being hurt. He said, now if you hurt, you can't play. That's one thing. But if you injure, you can will yourself through that. I think mentally he was able to do that. But I will agree that he is a whiner. He's a whiner. But Luka, he plays tough, DA. I know you don't like to hear that, but I think he's a whiner. You know,
hey man, I wonder how y'all would really feel about him if y'all wasn't Mavs fans. That's why I don't never know when I'm getting a true, because when y'all pull for somebody, sometimes y'all can't see what you know. Y'all love these dudes, man. Like y'all never.
I'm gonna tell you something.
I don't love nobody like that.
My analysis of two different things. My analysis of situation, who I decide I want to win, is one thing. My analysis of somebody is my truth. I analyze people on what they are. So if you want to give me an analysis, say you gave Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin is my boy. If I analyze, I would tell you what Michael Irvin does and does not do well. He doesn't get upfield fast enough, but he's so quick. He does a speed that actually allows him to actually fake her out. People think he'll go out, and he cuts up on him. He gets a distance on him, and they catch up with him. So he's not the best long catcher, but yes, he's able to get long catches.
Let me ask you a question. Hold on for a second. Let me ask the question right quick, DA. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm being critical of Maxi Kleber, right? Well, I'm just saying, let's be fair though. I'm saying, you know, I'm hard on Maxi Kleber. You know, there are things that he does or doesn't do that doesn't fit my criteria. What I think if a guy's sucking up those kind of minutes, you know what I'm saying? I said after Oklahoma, man, they need to relegate him to the bench because he add nothing. If he's not hitting threes, what else is he doing? Because he wasn't helping to defend. You know what I'm saying? So trust and believe me when I tell you, if I looked at Luka game, and I think I agree with you on one of the games they played against Boston, DA, I was kind of like, man, you know, Luka, man, he's slowing up the game. That's just one time I was like, he's slowing up the game. In this series right here, you can't afford to slow down against Derrick White and Drew Holiday now. And so I was in agreement with you.
Yeah.
But is that the whole resume or the embodiment You know what I mean?
Let me say this. I can name y'all 20 players in the NBA that if you put them on a team and say, you got the green light, you can shoot as many times as you want to. Can't nobody say nothing to you. Nobody's going to pull you out. Nobody's going to get mad at you. You can just do whatever you want to do. I have 20 Lucas on the team. That dude just has he just allowed to do whatever he want to do. His plus minus is my whole point. He's not that good to where I know a whole bunch of players you can put in there and say, just shoot when you want to. Just dribble it as long as you want to. Just drive when you want to. And they'll be superstars. I know 20 players that if you gave them that green light and say you don't have to play team ball.
You don't know 20.
Okay, let me put y'all. Oh, hold on for a second. Let me put y'all on pause.
That joke ain't in my top 10.
Hold on for a second. I got to shout out those who are engaging us on the replay. Shout out to Blessings Renee. Good evening to you, Blessing. We are live. This is the replay where we're still trying to make your day. Tonight's topic, we are talking about the NBA 2024 draft. Also, we're going to be talking about this JJ Redick hire with the Lakers. But more important, we're going to do the culture part this season because we will be talking about this new military deal as well as the draft. Not the NBA draft, but the draft that can get your whole head blown off. I had to borrow that, guys, from I was watching Dead President the other day, and Lorenz Tate, he wanted to go join the military. Yeah, he wanted to go join the military, and Chris Tucker looked at him. He said, "I want to do something different." He said, "Yeah, get your head blown off is different than them." So anyway, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but that's what he said. That's what we're gonna be talking about, man. Plus, I want to show something with the great Muhammad Ali this evening as well. But guys, we're gonna continue to talk about this NBA 2024 draft. What y'all listening to is a classic. Indifference between Daryl Alexander the Great and Mr. TJ Action Jackson.
We had a good one in a while.
Yeah, this is what they do. DA is just not a Luka guy, and I respect it. TJ is a Luka guy. I'm a Luka guy to an extent until you start whining, because I hate the whine. I hate
all players that whine. I don't like whiners either. I don't like that.
So, guys, let me ask y'all this right quick, though, TJ. I'm going to come to you right quick because the Mavericks are looking to trade and move possibly Tim Hardaway Jr. And they're looking at getting, I know I'm going to butcher this name, but Matisse Thybulle for Portland, who they believe can add a lot defensively. And he had a pretty good shooting percentage this past season with the Portland Trail Blazers. But I'm on the record as this, guys. I'm on the record saying that I would like for them to go after Spencer Dinwiddie, somebody who can go get their own bucket off the bench. Spencer Dinwiddie, and I believe Patrick Beverly. I think we back in the NBA Finals. That's just my take. But you say what, TJ?
Well, I think you can get Spencer. Spencer's a free agent. That's up to him. He only made $2 million last year, so you can get him for the veteran minimum. It's up to him. Wherever he wants to go, he'll be able to go because he's not going to get paid this year because he didn't do well with the Lakers, so he's going to get some kind of vet minimum or some kind of exception. So you can get him. It's up to him. Thybulle, Dallas tried to get him last year.
He wanted to come, yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't get him because he was restricted free agent. So, Portland matched it. So they tried to get him. So if they trade for him, I can understand because he can play. If he can hit his three, which he did a little bit better this past year, and the defense he plays, now you talking about tying up some of the wing players that Dallas had trouble with last year every once in a while. So you got another player that can play against those wings, and that would make their defense a whole lot better. Actually, he can play against point guards. That's the good thing about Thybulle. Thybulle can play point guards as well, too.
Well, they're also saying Jeremy Grant with Portland, man, because they're talking about since they traded away Damian Lillard, they're in this rebuilding phase. So they also brought up Jeremy Grant, who will be a great addition, too. Yeah, absolutely.
He got paid.
Portland got a lot of people they paying too much money on that squad.
Yeah, I believe so. You're right, DA. But I believe if they brought back Seth Curry, I think why not, man, bring back Spencer Dinwiddie? Because I hate they. No. I'm not saying bring him back now. I'm saying if they brought him back before, he was with Dallas, he left, and then they brought him back. I'm saying I think because I really like Spencer Dinwiddie because he can go get a bucket, man. He can isolate. He can get his own shot. I think coming off the bench, he would be a great addition for the Dallas Mavericks because we need a third scorer, man, like yesterday. So I would certainly take a look at bringing Spencer Dinwiddie back. And here's another thing. I just read something today too. 5-time NBA All-Star John Wall is talking about getting in the league. And what I like about what he said, his overall disposition was simply, I just want to be a role player. I want to be a veteran. He said there was veterans in front of me. And I think that's what locker rooms are missing, are veteran players. So he's only, 34, 35 maybe?
34.
Somewhere in there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so you get a veteran presence like John Wall in your locker room coming off the bench. And, he can give you a good 12, maybe 15 minutes a night. Oh, man, I think that'll be a great pickup, too. So, Dallas got to look at, I think Nico Harris, I trust his.
I like that better than Dinwiddie.
You like it better than Dinwiddie?
Yeah.
But Dinwiddie can play the 2 and get you a bucket.
Because remember, my point was somebody who could still handle the ball when Luka and Kyrie was out. So I'm leaning more towards a guard who can score if you need him to, but who can still, where it ain't just Kyrie is out, okay, Luka's the man. Luka is out, Kyrie's handling the ball. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I just thought they needed somebody else who, when Kyrie goes out, Luka, we ain't just automatically putting the ball in your hand. You can still, we can still just kind of run when Kyrie ain't out. That was who can score, but can be that kind of off guard scorer. Whoever that is.
But I like them both, though. If he can come in, we can get him for a veteran minimum. We ain't got to put a lot of, cash behind him. A John Wall coming in with his presence who can help facilitate, run the offense. And again, man, I just like Dinwiddie. Let me give a quick shout out, man, to D Rich. What's up? D Rich is in the house with us, man. Big shout out to D Rich, man. So
what D Rich is that? Derrick Richardson?
No, that's Derrick Ritchie, man. Former Texas A&M cornerback, man.
Gotcha.
By way of Washington Redskins. Back then, we know the Redskins back then.
What you got?
Got some breaking news. We was thinking about another player that we was thinking about from Dallas getting Mikal Bridges, because he plays real good defense and he can play. Yeah. Guess what? He getting traded for Bogdan Bogdanovic from the Knicks. So he's getting traded. The Knicks are getting him now.
The Knicks are getting him. Wow, that's a great pickup for the Knicks.
Yeah,
great pickup for the Knicks.
Real nice for the Knicks.
Well, I definitely know that it's going to be real interesting tomorrow. You got a lot of, like I said, a lot of guys that's coming from overseas that's going to be drafted. Man, we got a few collegiate players here, and I think it's a couple of G League players they was talking about too. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, man. I'm gonna be looking forward to it because I think Nico Harris, man, is one of the best up and coming GMs that's out there, and he's gonna do what he has to do, man, to make sure the Dallas Mavericks is back in the NBA Finals. One of the things I liked about his exit strategy when he was talking to the players, he said, make sure you come back at least 10 to 15% better. So whatever that means, Luke, I hope you're listening. Lose some weight, man.
Slimmer.
Lose some weight.
Right.
Add 10% muscle. Ain't got one muscle in his body.
All right, guys, we got to segue real quick, man.
Even got a bicep.
Brand new hire. We got a brand new hire. The Los Angeles Lakers have decided to go with J.J. Redick out of Duke. I'm going to come to you guys and tell me what you're thinking, man, about this particular hire with the Los Angeles Lakers. But before we do that, let's listen to what J.J. had to say regarding the Lakers job.
Exciting for our fans to see is how we take a new and unique approach of Lakers excellence with player development and combining that with high-level strategy and high-level attention to detail on the basketball court with how we play, with how we're organized, how we compete, and ultimately how we win. So a very, very proud moment for us today to introduce J.J. Redick as our new head coach.
Thank you. Thank you. Rob, I appreciate it. This process has been surreal, to say the least. One of the things that kept coming up during the process with Rob, we kept talking about the word gratitude. And I think that's where I'll start, is just feeling so grateful for Rob, Jeannie, the entire Lakers organization for entrusting me in this position. And I take this responsibility very seriously. I have never coached in the NBA before. I don't know if you guys have heard that. My motivations for doing this, it starts with a very simple foundation of service. I think about the greatest moments, especially towards the end of my career, was about helping players.
Okay, guys, y'all heard him say that he was being a little trying to be a little jovial with it, but he never coached anywhere before, anywhere. So before I get you guys to respond, let me say this real quick. Now, I'm not going to look at it from a white and black issue. I'm just looking at it from a qualified issue because we know that the NBA has done a wonderful job over the years putting African American coaches in those positions, and even when you talk about administratively speaking, we got to get a little bit more ownership up in there. But you got a lot of minorities owners too. I'm talking about majority owners. But what I want to talk about is the qualification, because here's a guy I like to play for you guys that I think was well qualified for the Lakers job.
Yeah, Sam Cassell is moving on from the Sixers, and assistant under Doc Rivers, he's heading to the Boston Celtics in the same role under Joe Mazzulla. Now, Cassell was a candidate for the Sixers head coaching position that ultimately went to Nick Nurse.
Okay, you just heard that the job that he was going after before joining the Boston Celtics, which he was one of the coaches on the staff, just won the NBA Finals. He got him a championship ring. Plus, he was a player with the Houston Rockets. He got 2 rings with them. I think he even got a 3rd one with someone else. I don't know if it was, I don't know who it was. I think he may have 3. But I do know he has 2 rings with the Houston Rockets. As you heard them say that Coach Nurse, Nick Nurse, he got the job. They passed over qualified Sam Cassell. The thing I like about Sam Cassell, guys, is simply this: he know how to connect with the players. Here he is playing one-on-one with Shai Gilgeous when he was still young, a young pup up and coming with the Los Angeles Clippers. And he's going having a little banter with him. They're bantering back and forth. He says, "Playoff time, baby." So that's Shai Gilgeous, a walking 30 guy who he's playing when he was a younger pup with the Los Angeles Clippers. So I feel like Sam Cassell was way qualified for getting the Lakers job. But DA, I'll come to you first. You say what, DA?
To be totally honest, I'm not sure what they look for as far as assistant coaches. I don't know if, like, does it mean you qualified just because you've been around or you've been on somebody's bench? Do you know X's and O's? Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know what they know. Not saying he's not qualified. It's just that I don't know how they look at it. But if you ask me, somebody who's been on somebody's bench is more qualified than a dude who's just been sitting on TV talking about it. And the hiring of JJ Redick, it gives me one more strong reason to pull against the Lakers again this year and the year after that. And it's LeBron and it's now JJ Redick. Because I'm telling you, I don't like JJ Redick. I got a bad feeling, and man, when my spirit is on me by somebody, I just flow with it, because it's something about that dude that I don't like. And even before today, I was thinking, even the way he came out with the press conference and he's using F-bombs toward the reporters, and I'm like, come on, dude, you're already not showing no class. Like, come on, man, this is your first interview, and he's throwing out F-bombs. And then I read before the show, a young lady tweeted. Did y'all see that? She tweeted, I don't know if she tweeted or it was on Instagram or something. She said, "In all my years as a black person, I've only been called the N-word once to my face. And it was when I was at Duke University by a guy who just got hired by the Los Angeles Lakers today." And when she said that, I was like, my God, now is this about to be a story? She was like, he's the only one who's ever called her an N-word in her whole life to her face. But Maybe it's not true. Maybe it's just something that was thrown out there. But I don't like JJ Redick, man. I don't think he should have got the job. I don't like his arrogance. I just don't. I watch him on the talk shows, and I never liked it. And now he's paired with LeBron, so I think it's going to be a problem. I think he and LeBron are going to bump heads because he's supposed to be this stoic, hard-nosed guy. And LeBron ain't. I know they cool on the podcast, but I think they're gonna come. They're gonna not come to blows, but they're gonna bump heads this whole season. I can see it coming, and I can't wait till the whole organization just blows up.
Say it's different than the podcast, huh, DA?
Yeah,
I kind of say the same thing, but TJ, you say what?
That's a unique situation. Think about it. The first thing it tells you is relationship.
Yes.
Right. So they're on a podcast together. Because I don't think he would have been on Lakers, even on their radar, if he hadn't been on their podcast with LeBron. I don't even think he would have.
Right.
So I would say this. It makes you think about Steve Nash, but they have.
Okay, well, TJ got a little froze up on that. Let's go ahead, DJ. DA, finish.
Man, I'm trying to figure out what was he about to say about Steve Nash, because he was thrown in the fire as well without any experience. He thought he was going to just walk into New Jersey and coach this all-star team.
But DA, you were saying something referencing you don't know what the criterias are.
Yeah, I don't know what yeah, go ahead.
Well, I mean, it's just like I think with any job to an extent is how well you interview. Some guys, they said the same thing about Eric Bieniemy, right? Why was he was the one that was drawing up the plays. Of course, he was the closest associated with Andy Reid, but he was the offensive coordinator. But they say he couldn't interview well. Well, I don't know if
Sam Cassell
actually been on interviews with the NBA. I haven't really heard about it. But if you're looking at a resume, right? Because everybody, when you go interview for a job or a position, they look at your overall resume. So if you're looking at his resume, just based on, I think, a guard coming out of Boston College, how many years he played in the league. Like I say, he's a two-time NBA champion. He understands for coming off the bench, the role that you should, the mindset you should have coming off the bench, as well as being a starter in the league. So these are some of the things I'm looking for a coach. As far as his resume, he embodies that. Now the question again becomes, how well do we interview? Is he convincing? Is he passionate? And anybody that knows Sam Cassell will tell you, man, the guy is a talker. He played the game with passion. Him and Kenny Smith. I remember when they made their run with the Houston Rockets. He was a big piece to that puzzle, man. So if you're gonna give a guy,
it's gotta be something, Jabril. It's gotta be something.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But if you're gonna give a guy like JJ Redick, I mean, you're talking about one of the most recognized franchise. I mean, teams. Organizations in all of sports, the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, granted, I don't really like what they did to Darvin Ham, right? But at the same time, I'm saying, okay, at least Darvin, he's a champion too, because he won a ring with the Detroit Pistons, okay? And he's been on the bench for a long time as well. But here's a guy who's basically coming off the street, if you will, with a podcast. You know what I'm saying? So, again, it's kind of interesting to see this particular hire, because I kind of agree with you too. I side with you on that, DA. I think during the course of a season, it's kind of like what Kendrick Perkins was saying. He wished that JJ Redick would do one thing: lead that arrogant Duke attitude at home, and everybody started laughing.
I ain't know he said that. I feel it too. Man. I hate it.
He said that, man. He said that because that Duke kind of arrogance, that supremacy, they have that about themselves, man. And I think that's what he was alluding to more than anything, that there's going to be some kind of indifference, as it is with many players, but it can really blow up with somebody like LeBron James and JJ Redick. It really can.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree too. So listen, that's what we gotta look forward to this season, coming up, to see what kind of moves they may make with the Los Angeles Lakers. It's not my mob, never been my mob. Whatever they do is what they do. I'm a diehard Mavericks man, and have been since 1980 when we inaugurated. So I just want to talk about JJ Redick. I don't think he's gonna fulfill the whole contract either, DA. But as they say, we shall see. We shall see. So we got to segue off of this. and we got to get into the culture part of this. This is what I wanted to get to, man. Let's talk about this military bill, man. This military bill. And for those of you all who have been sleeping under a rock somewhere, they're talking about bringing back the draft. They are talking about bringing back the draft. I think we got Tim. He had a little technical difficulty. We can bring him back to the stage. But Tim, we've already segued. Okay, there you go. We've already segued to the next subject. I know you probably had a little technical difficulty. But what we're talking about now, we're talking about the military draft. This is the culture part of it. We're talking about the military draft bill, guys. And I want to, before we actually get into this, dive a little bit deep into this, let's take a look at some of the videos they got out there regarding this.
Capitol Hill. Mike Emanuel live in Washington with more. Hi, Mike.
Martha, good morning. The Senate version of the National Defense Authorization Act, which sets out military and national security priorities, would require women to register for selective service. Missouri Republican Senator Josh Hawley is not a fan, writing on X, quote, "I'm not voting for any defense bill that forces my daughter to register for the draft. Not now, not ever." And he's not alone. Texas Republican Congressman Chip Roy also reacting on X, quote, "You can go straight to hell over my dead body."
Now that's coming from one of the senators, right? Now I'm gonna get into something in a second. This is the perfect segue to something, a conversation I was having recently regarding my own child, my own son who just graduated high school. It's interesting that one of the Congress members, they tell you how they feel. So whenever you start getting these, like I like to refer to the last name, private Obamas and private Bidens and private Trumps and sergeants, you know, some of these senators that's in office, when you start sending your child over there, then come talk to me. Come talk to me. Because what you can't do is indoctrinate an individual such as myself, those of us who remember, who haven't grown amnesia all of a sudden. And you're gonna have a very, very tough time convincing Generation Z to go volunteer and sign up for the military. But I got a couple of more videos I'm gonna get into, but I'm gonna come to you on that, DA, real quick. What is your take on it?
Any senator, a senator shouldn't even, I mean, they shouldn't even be speaking out on it, because we all know if any senator's child does not want to go to the military, they are not going. The only senator's kids that you have ever seen in the military are those who wanted to go. A senator can easily get his child off. I don't even know why they even brought that up, because now people like us, we would have a problem getting our kids out of the military or the draft.
Sure, absolutely.
A senator, they'll make up anything, and one of their friends will sign it, and the kids will be exempt. So I don't even know why they're speaking on it. None of their kids would never even go to the military if they didn't want to. And one more quick thing is I don't understand why we're even having a draft again. America should be focusing on not interfering in the affairs of the world as much as they do anyway. Like we got so many issues here in this country. Why are we still? But that's just always been us. Why are we still so focused on sending kids over to get into disagreements and disputes that we're not even a part of? So I mean, I guess that's what they need to keep the game that's being played to continue. So. But I don't like it.
That's what we want to talk about. That's what we want to talk about this evening. And trust and believe, we want to dive a little bit deep into this, because I understand why they did it and why they're continuing to try to do it now. Because when you're studying not just domestic money policies, but when you're studying world policies, the world, when you get countries like BRIC who came together collectively, because the almighty dollar is starting to lose its traction. And you got other companies like Brazil, Russia, India, China, you see, and the UK, those countries coming together. That's BRIC, along with a few other countries that's getting ready to join, because they're tired of the US, because we don't see on American soil what actually goes on around our country all the time. I tell people all the time, if you don't understand foreign policies and you're only concerned about domestic policies, then you're doing yourself an injustice. Because what happens over there happens over here. And what happens over here happens over there. That's why you got trade partners. That's why you got a lot of this stuff going on. But before I go further into that, hold on just a second, Tim. I got another video I got to get to because I have a special question that's coming up on my Jabril's Q&A that I'm going to be asking. But here's a guy whom I wanted to meet this individual, man. Basically, I was on a few people I wanted to meet in the world of sports. And this was definitely one of them. He's been my hero, man, inside the ring and outside the ring. Let's look at the great Muhammad Ali.
My conscience won't let me go shoot my brother or some darker people or some poor hungry people in the mud for big powerful America and shoot them for what? They never called me nigger. They never lynched me. They never put no dogs on me. They never robbed me of my nationality. Rape and killed my mother and father. Well, I'm going to shoot them for what? How can I go shoot them? Them little poor little black people, little babies and children and women. How can I shoot them poor people? Just take me to jail.
Ali more than held his own against students who had a far better formal education than he.
I'm saying you talking about me about some draft, and all of you white boys are breaking your neck to get to Switzerland and Canada and London. I'm not going to help nobody get something my Negroes don't have. If I'm going to die, I'll die now right here fighting you. If I'm going to die, you my enemy. My enemies are white people, not Vietnams or Chinese or Japanese. You my opposer when I want freedom. You my opposer when I want justice. You my opposer when I want equality. You won't even stand up for me in America for my religious beliefs, and you want me to go somewhere and fight, but you won't even stand up for me here at home.
Man,
that's
my
strong.
guy.
That's strong.
My guy. I'm gonna play a video clip that's gonna put a cherry on the top of what I'm talking about, because when it came up, I recall, way back when someone sent me a picture, of my son saluting, right? He's sitting here saluting. I'm saying, don't ever send me a picture of my son saluting. And because I know, and I'm saying it from this perspective, my father fought in Vietnam War. His father fought in World War II. And his father fought in World War I. When he was released from World War I, he reassigned and went back into the military to fight with his son in World War II. That's the line of defense that I come from. And I said to you guys before, America has never fought a war without African-American people. Never. Go way back to the 1600s under the Queen Elizabeth War. The Queen Victoria War. They didn't fight that war alone. You go back and look at the American Revolution. They didn't fight that war alone. The War of 1812 didn't fight that one alone. And then you come all the way up to the present. They always have depended on African-American people to pull them out of the mess that they created. And then they indoctrinate us. They patronize us. They get us to believe in this red, white, and blue. And that's exactly what Muhammad Ali was saying. Why would I go over there and want to fight to defend something that I don't even have any rights over here? Now, people say fast forward, oh, that was the past, this is the now. Okay, really? Because every cause has an effect. You think that because what happened way back then that you don't feel the effects of that now? Especially if we start getting into economic disparity. There's a lot that we can talk about just on this subject alone, because again, I'm not just that red, white, and blue like that. Now I say, if you got boots on the ground and they come over here, absolutely. Put a gun in my hand and let's get busy. But you telling me to go over something to fight for your commercial interests, and I have no reason why I'm over there. If you lied to us before, you lied to us again, just like y'all sent the troops over there with Saddam Hussein talking about weapons of mass destruction. Went over there, and all that was about was an oil play, about oil and money and protecting their commerce, their interests. But every war that's fought is due to commercial interruption, if you will. The same reason why they went over there and really put the jackals on my guy over in Libya.
Gaddafi.
Ahmad Gaddafi. Thank you. Yeah, they did exactly that. They didn't even have to send the CIA. They just put the jackals over there and they just called and say, well, the Libyan people was tired of them over there. No, they wasn't tired, because if y'all blamed him for the 88 bombing, the Lockerbie bombing back in 88, the first George Bush could have got him out of the Middle East then. No. It wasn't until Barack Obama said he had to go. Why? Because he was trying to start an African, like an international money fund. He wanted to start the African Money Fund, the AMF. That's what he was doing. He was talking about Black people in Africa building their own and having their own dollar bill to support it with the gold. So that's a lot of things we can get into, because when you have a commercial disinterest or something that's happened commercially, you have to restore the honor commercially. That's why the U.S. have all the embassies sitting over there in other people's sovereignty. You got to go to an embassy, but no embassies is over here per se. So America is running around the country, man. They spread imperialism and their indoctrination, and this is why people are tired of it. But Tim, I'll come to you on that.
Well, you hit it around the head. Capitalism. Capitalism is what it's all about. Actually, our whole country's been built on capitalism. I was talking to somebody today about that. All about capitalism, all about how much money can you make and how much money can they make, really. And so the whole group is set up for that. You know, every time we do something for wars, defense money goes up, and everybody makes a whole lot of money for the stock exchange when they on defense. Right now the cat's out the bag. Everybody kind of knows that, but they still know how to do certain things to actually get that information. So the second part is this: we ain't new to this. You know, we had the Allies and the Axis before, where we had two groups going against each other, just like we got BRICS now, and you got the United States and their allies, right? So now, because the United States calls theirs allies, okay, now we got BRICS and allies. So what are we going to do? There was a war before, and that war really was all about money, who was allying together and who was actually had the same interest together. So right now, BRICS is causing a problem. And Russia has pulled together some people that actually pull, together. But these are usually people they pull in. The key is they pull a few more African countries that the United States usually had in their grasp. So now they're going to go in and, like you said, put with our embassies and all that kind of stuff. We always had CIA in place to go in and get information about everything. And always we've gone in people's governments and learned and got intel from them. So that's something we do in the first place. So that information. And the other part about this is depopulation. America wants to depopulate. Actually, the whole world wants to depopulate. So this ain't just America. Like you said, what goes on here goes on somewhere else. So depopulation is a strong part of why they're going in. And actually, they know they don't have to get their women in there, but they want to get our women in there to help us depopulate. That's another way to depopulate us. Get rid of some of our women who birthed our children, right?
That's what we're looking at.
So we got to be careful of all of that.
Yeah, that's why they're gonna fight on it. But Tim, let me do this real quick, because I got to engage our chats, man. Y'all chat out and tell us how you feel about this. We're talking about this draft, this not the NBA draft, not the NFL draft, not the Major League Baseball draft. We're talking about the military draft bill that they're passing. I think it already passed the House and it's going towards the Senate, and they're trying to get this passed or approved this summer. I just think when you're not being transparent, when you're leaving things out or you're omitting things, there's definitely a bigger picture to look at it here. Because why now would you say? And I understand, again, as I said, it's about studying the money policies. Wherever you see a money panic, wherever you see situations happen where the dollar bill is starting to devalue, if you notice, whether they sending small missions over there or bringing a whole damn army, that's normally what takes place in a lot of this. So you got to read between the lines. But guys, I got to say, we stand on this subject because I got to go to my real quick. We're going to go over to Jabril's Q&A because I got a question I want to ask pertaining to this particular subject. Right here that we're talking about. Because we're talking about this new military bill. Okay, so I got a question, guys. So let's go into Jabril's Q&A. Okay, guys, I want to ask you guys, we're sticking with the same subject. We're talking about the new military draft bill they're trying to do for 2024. If you don't register, they will consider it to be a felony. That's nothing new because they had the same criteria back then before they took it out. I think it was around 1969 or 1970 when they took out the draft board, where if you didn't register or didn't sign up or go into the military, you had to do 5 years a prison sentence. And a lot of people, believe it or not, a lot of people went to prison. And as you saw in the video, Muhammad Ali was ready to go. He said, because I'm not going over there killing these brothers and sisters for your interest. Basically what he was saying, because they haven't done nothing to me. but I can't get rights in my own country when you're my opposer. So it brings me to this question right here. If your child, if this bill passes, would you allow your child, your daughter, your son, your nephew, your cousin at the age of 18 register for the draft? But before you give me your answer, I want you all to check out this video, because as we know, if you study this, if you're a student of history and you have studied these things throughout this country, they've actually killed, hung, beaten, and you name it, with men who wore the military suit. But y'all check this out. This is a case of Isaac Woodard.
And they were very uncomfortable with the interaction between the white and black soldiers. There were complaints to the bus driver, and the bus driver didn't like it.
There are, of course, in 1946, no bathroom facilities on public buses. Isaac Woodard asked the bus driver if at the next stop he could be allowed to disembark and to go to the bathroom.
And the bus driver tells him, "Boy, go sit back down."
The bus driver cursed him. Isaac Woodard cursed him back and proclaimed his manhood.
He just said to the gentleman, you know, "You don't have to speak to me in that manner. I'm a man just like you. In other words, give me respect."
Military training and service turned a black man from the rural deep south with a 5th grade education into a man willing to say words that he knew could put his life at risk. There is no doubt when he said that he was under any illusions about what he was saying, where he was saying it, on a bus, at night, in the deep south. But he was a veteran. He was wearing the uniform. He was surrounded by veterans who were wearing the uniforms. They were returning from a war that they had won, and he was a stronger man because of it.
The bus driver is furious. At the next town, he goes looking for a police officer to have Woodard removed from his bus. Woodard's kind of perplexed. He steps off the bus, and as he's trying to explain himself, the police chief brings out his blackjack, which is like a baton, but it's spring-loaded and it has tremendous force, and hits Woodard over the head with it.
A soldier aboard the bus watched as the officer took Woodard by the arm and forced him around the corner and out of sight. That is the last I saw of him, he would tell investigators a few months later.
They started beating him all across the head, and they gouged his eyes out. They didn't beat him out. They put the stick in there and twisted it. They threw him in jail, and he told me they poured whiskey over him to say he was drunk. He was arrested for supposedly disorderly conduct, disturbing the peace, and being drunk. He was not drunk. He was not being disorderly, and he did not disturb the peace.
He spends the night in jail, unable to see, in excruciating pain. The next morning, he is taken to the judge. He is levied a fine, but he can't see to sign the paperwork that is put before him. Ultimately, when Woodard is examined by specialists, they determine that he will never see again. The injuries are severe and they are irreversible.
Okay, the injuries are severe and they are irreversible, and Mr. Isaac Woodard will remain blind for the rest of his life. I think he passed away in 1992. Yeah, born in 1929, passed away in 1992. So, guys, it brings me to reason and ask this particular question right here. If this military bill passes, would you encourage your child to sign up? Understanding now when they turn 18, they can pretty much go out there and make that decision for themselves. But would you encourage them to sign up if this bill passes? Listen, I get it. We have to protect democracy, so-called democracy, which is a play on the word demonic. But these so-called freedoms, let me tell you something. Look up the word dualocracy. D-U-L-O-C-R-A-C-Y, dualocracy. This word dualocracy, it means privileges, those who have privileges. And what you think when you have freedoms, you really have nothing but privileges. Break any one of these 60 million laws on the books, and you're going to find out real quick. Now, what do someone need with 60 million laws? Don't you know every time Congress make a law, more and more people go to jail? Mass incarceration, it doesn't stop. And who does it look like? More times than not, us, African American, brown people, Latinos. Let's don't fool ourselves here, people. So we're talking about if the military passes this bill, would you encourage your child to sign up? Because you look at the history of this country when men have went over there and fought, because most of those black, and I don't blame our soldiers from going over there because they really believed and entrusted the fact that if I went and did this, I would be liberating my family and future generations to come. But that have not been the case. And I just get sick and tired of seeing some of these individuals, man, that get so patriotic, so red, white, and blue, and get so indoctrinated. And you look in your own communities, your own African-American communities, and you realize you still don't have a pot to piss in it or throw it out or window to throw it out of. So this is insanity to me. Continue to do the same thing over again, expecting to get different results. So DA, I'm gonna come to you because based on that video, I know my answer. So I'm gonna come to you.
Encourage him to sign up. I mean, I don't think that's I'd probably have him sign up because that's the law. But if there ever was a letter that came in saying he'd been drafted, that'd be a whole different ball game. I'd sell my soul to make sure he didn't go and spend one day overseas fighting for anybody. So, you know, I wouldn't want him to not sign and end up having to go to jail, and he may not have even ever got drafted. So that would be the dilemma I'd probably have. And something else real quick that's gonna sound as stupid. This is probably one of the it's so controversial that it's gonna sound absolutely like I'm an ignoramus. But man, I would come up with some sort of program where if you wanted to fill your military, qualify people that you have wrongfully, not even wrongfully, people in our system, in our penitentiary system, our prison system, qualify those people to commute a sentence to serve in the military. But they would have to volunteer. I wouldn't force anybody. Find somebody who's in there for 20 years and say, hey, you won't get parole for 20 years. Would you like to serve 3 years and your sentence be commuted? Would you like to go in the military, commute your sentence of 20 years or 30 or however many you got for 3 years or 5 years in the military? I would start there first. People who saying I have no life in prison. If they want to volunteer to go sign up for the military and go fight instead of being behind bars, I would do that first. But to answer your question, I would make sure he signed up. But if they ever sent a letter saying he was drafted, it would be a whole different story after that.
TJ.
Mute, TJ. You muted.
TJ, mute. Check your mic.
Mic.
You got yourself muted.
Oh, that's very interesting what you said on that, DA. That is very interesting. I would say that having an opportunity would be good. The only scary part about that would they try to imprison more people. They already do it as one way, but they imprison more people just in case. To think about my child or my children, there's no way that I encourage them to be the part. That's not part of our family legacy. You know, it has been my grandfather, my father actually served, but I'm not talking about for that part. I'm talking about for what we do for as a legacy. Now, I do believe in justice. I believe strongly in justice, and we have to fight for justice. We need it. The problem is that we've been all a part of injustice. Our whole lives have been part of injustice.
Thank you.
That's the problem I have right now with anything they talk about doing, because they're not doing in righteousness.
Right.
They're doing it for other reasons. They're lying to us at the same time.
Right.
I can't get with that when you keep lying to us and you keep holding us down and putting your foot on our head, and then giving us, take away opportunities, make us feel less than. And when we're better than somebody else, you want to make sure that we actually can't rise up. I always trying to figure out a way to make sure we are a little less than what we are. But we have to rise up as we keep doing. And then that's another way to send us away, so we ain't there for our wives, for our mothers, for our sisters, for our aunts, for our cousins, all our women. Take us away from our women. Now they even want to take our women away so we can't even have children. No, man.
Right, that's that Malthusian. What you're talking about? It's almost like you got a population check. You know, the women over in France, they actually marched to the government in France because they was in war times, man. They was losing a lot of males, man. And then women went to the government. They marched and said, "Hey, we're tired of you taking our men and creating these wars." And they going to fight off, fight the enemy, or so-called enemy. Let me put it like that. We are becoming widowed. You know what I'm saying? So we've been fighting. I mean, because right now they're saying just about every part of the land that you can think of has really been discovered. We understand about land expansion and why governments made decision to kind of embark upon the world, if you will, to have the resources or be in a position to have the resources that we need for the goods to trade with, so we can have the things we need here domestically. But you can't go over there, man, and usurp other people's sovereignty. You got to come over there, man, with the right disposition, the right, they say diplomatic, with a diplomatic disposition to go over there and do business the right way, because that's exactly what this is. This is a business. It's a business. And if you take the money off the table, you're looking at the whole thing wrong, because again, no one is going to go over to someone else's country just because. That's not how it's done. So it's very important to understand the policies of what's going on. And again, Tim, I like when you said that if they was more transparent, if they had given the American people more full disclosure, then perhaps you'll feel a little bit better about the situation. But time and time again, we've been duped. We've been lied to. We've been exposed. And then again, there's a pecking order, because we go over there and send our greatest soldiers, even when they talk about, the black regiments, man, the Tuskegee Airmen, man, those brilliant brothers that went over there and fought, man, valiantly, and then come back and you can't even get a job in your own country. You get spit on. You had to get, second class citizenship, Jim Crowism. You know what I mean? And you will find these brothers, man, being castrated and hung from trees with military uniforms on. So again, it would be hard, so hard for me to encourage my son to, and then personally, my own personal vendetta, just for my own life, because everything they do inside those walls is prison ran, it's military ran. It's not when it's 8 a.m., it's not 8 a.m., it's 0800 hours. So everything is military. So now I have no trust, no confidence, no whatsoever, man. They can, as far as I'm concerned, man, it's like in the words of Neely Wells, you can take that bill and shove it. Yeah, I said it. You don't have to say it. I'm saying it. Because don't come knock on my door asking for private Rashad, nothing. Because I'm telling you right now, again, if you coming over here with boots on the ground, I think the closest that anybody ever got was when the Japanese came over here towards Hawaii. And of course, they, went and dropped the bomb Hiroshima over there on them. But right now, today, come on, man. Come on, man. We've seen American people are too smart, and we've seen just about enough to know that it's a bunch of mess, even with this bill and how y'all going to put it out there, because you're not sending your children over there to register and die. And again, I hear what you're saying, DA, but that's just the game, talking about if you don't register. All they doing is making sure, just like in the Coast Guard or the other, I can't even think of the name of them right now. My mind is going. But just they want to make sure that they got bodies. So when they do pull that number, hey, come on, you register for this. Yeah, that's what it is, man. So again, guys, man, we can talk about this, man, for the entirety of the show. several other things I gotta get to real quick. But y'all can chat out in the comments. Let us know how you feel about this new bill again. They got the women signing up. So y'all gonna have to take your weave out. Y'all gonna have to take your eyelashes out. You gonna have to take your nails off. You gonna have to get ready. All that twerking, you gonna twerk. I tell you what, bottle all that up, go to the enemy, and then start twerking for the enemy and see if y'all can't throw them off until we send the second or the third brigade in there. Okay, you want to twerk? You can twerk now, Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, let's turn the page right quick, man, because we got to get into these Olympics, man. These Olympic trials happen, man. We saw some wonderful races, and I'm gonna try to get as many videos as I can up here. Just give me just a second. I think this may be the 400-meter race. The final.
Is on the inside in one. Never has the 400 been this open at Olympic trials. There are 4 women that could potentially win this race, and Kaylin Brown strong. So Brown looks the best at halfway, but Shamir Little is certainly there, and I think the most dangerous person right here is Lena Irby Jackson. But the collegiates very much holding their own. Aaliyah Butler is doing well in blind. And look at Kendall Ellis. They're both in really good position. Ellis, Brown, Aaliyah Butler. Look at Aaliyah Butler, center of the track, and Kendall Ellis is surging. Kendall Ellis is responding and wins. And that's the feel good for the Southern Cal star, because she started her.
I love it, guys. I just love to see these races. Ellis hung on to win, but the young girl from Georgia, the collegiate, they kept talking about, the collegiate don't really stand a chance a lot of time. But man, she hung in there. So Tim, you know a little something about track, man. You ran track back in high school. What did you think about the 400?
Well, that was my event. I used to dominate that. I won my JV year. I won the city championship, one district. And matter of fact, they was trying to get me to go to the varsity, but my coach wouldn't. The varsity team wanted me to go up to the varsity. They wouldn't. My coach wouldn't let me. He wanted me to dominate there. So we won 400. I run the open 400, long jump, and 1600 meters relay. So that was my thing, man. If I hadn't hurt my leg my senior year, it would have been a race between me and Tim Brown and the young young brother. His young brother, South Oak Cliff. That'd been a race because I was running 47 too as well. So
Michael Cannon, Did you go up against Michael Cannon? Because Michael Cannon was a bad boy.
He was a couple years ahead of me.
Right, he come out in '83. I went to elementary with him. Know him very well.
So he was actually. I think he was 2. I think he was 82, wasn't
he? 83.
You sure?
Yeah, positive.
Okay.
We went to Robert L. Thornton together. He come out with Goodson them in '83. '82 was Egypt Allen.
Yeah, that's right. But he dominated both of those years, so that's why I was thinking about it. But that 400, man, ain't nothing like that's a man's race. And you see women doing it. Women are running a lot faster now. They're running the times that we ran probably junior years and senior, probably sophomore year time. They're running like 49 and 50. That's what they run. That's what we ran. That's what I was running when I was a sophomore. So, but these women, they're running a whole lot faster, and man, it locks up your back, your thighs, your hamstrings. A lot of people tell me. Whole body locked up.
I made that mistake. I know what that monkey feel like. I called myself getting on the 220 sprint medley and sucked up the curve. But boy, when I hit the back curve, everybody I passed me. And I only ran track 1 year, which called myself getting into shape before I went off to college. But look here, man. I know exactly what you're talking about, man. And I didn't run no 400, so I can only imagine. But DA, what you think about the race, man?
Man, I watched that race. I just started watching a few days ago. And I watched that race, and I don't know any of the ladies outside of what they talk about right before the race. But I actually watched that race, and I was impressed by the young lady. She was the one who came in second, right? The one from Georgia.
Yeah, she came in second.
That's who I was really impressed by.
So was I. Yeah.
After watching the race, but I don't follow it enough. But I am enjoying the trials, just like the rest of America, getting to know these people before they go to the Olympics.
Let me get in some of the other videos and see what Let me see what race this is. This came up here.
Teaser spot to Paris. He will become
Okay, this is the young guy that was talking
American
about.
man
He was a high school
to compete on the Team USA
this
track
was
and field
the
team at
man's,
Olympic Games.
400
That would be
meter
special.
And he has a great shot at him.
There's two other guys in this race that are extremely dangerous. Quincy Hall, the bronze medalist from Worlds in lane 8, and Deadman in 6, who was a semifinal winner as well.
Final the men's 400. Michael Norman with the white headband on. He said it's a two-step process. Make the team and then we'll go from there.
Michael Norman is the equal 4th fastest man ever at this distance, and you see he is using that speed while he has gone out aggressively. Sonia, we know it's so important that he runs this far turn, but quite frankly, look at the lead he has already.
Yeah, this is exceptional execution. He is going for a break right here. The youngster in lane 2 is going to have a tough go at it. He had a tough lane draw lead.
And on the inside, all in black is Bowling, Matthew Bowling, but out wide, Quincy Hall. Here he comes with Chris Bailey. They're starting to catch Michael Norman. It's Quincy Hall to the line. Hall wins. Norman will be second and maybe Vernon Norwood. But Quincy Hall is the...
Man, Quincy Hall. So he's going to the Olympics, and he won the men's 400 final. And when you see him make that last surge, man, I'm like, man, God bless you, young man. Because I'm gonna tell you, I can tell you, those last 200 meters. Well, like I say, Tim, you know, man. I mean, them things, man. I mean, that monkey get on your back if you let it.
Boy, that was a beautiful run, though. That was a beautiful run. You know what's so funny about that? People used to ask me the question and say, man, he said on the backstretch, everybody else kind of look like they sports cars. It's like you running full speed the whole time. No, it's about a relaxation you do. It's a technique. It actually, nobody gave it to me. I learned to myself. I used to stretch out my stride. I still had the same turnover, but I stretched my stride out on the backstretch where it didn't look like I was slowing down because I was still speeding up because everybody else was relaxing. So I'm passing them. So it looked like I'm running full speed, but I changed my stride length. That's all it was, and I would just keep powering through the whole time. So that takes strength. It takes a lot of strength, and you got to get prepared for it because you ain't prepared, boy, everything locks up, man. I used to get migraine headaches my sophomore year, man, because I didn't know how to drink or eat before I ran the race. So that young man, woo, that was a race right there.
Big shout out to Quincy Hall, man. But let's see if we can. Let me see what the next race came up. I think it was one of the 100 meters.
Hey, let me say something real quick, Jabril.
Hold on.
Here it is.
Hold on, just start, man. This is the man's 100.
It wasn't the best start from Sha'Carri Richardson to
actually, women's 100 meters.
Now Sha'Carri starts to wind up, but she goes past Jefferson. Sha'Carri Richardson, 10:70.
But go ahead, DA. What you about to say?
Man, I wanted to talk about Quincy Wilson, the 16-year-old.
16-year-old, yeah.
And what was so and this is what was so special about his race, even though he came in 6th in the final. To just make it to the final. Think about that. You're 16 years old and you made it to the final with all those other guys competing. This is what makes that special to me. He didn't get in by being in a slow heat and coming in first, second, or first or second. He got in on time because he didn't qualify by place. So just imagine how fast this young kid is to qualify for the finals on time and then to come in 6th place against grown men being looks like he's 5'7", 5'8" at best. And we all know when the guys that run those races the best are usually 6 feet tall, maybe a little taller. I've never seen a guy 5'8" or 5'7" who could run the 400 at any decent speed. So just imagine this dude got this young man has some more growing to do. And before he gets back to the next Olympics, he's gonna set many more records before that.
I totally agree, man. That young man did an absolutely phenomenal job, man. And my hats definitely go off to him, man. you know, for what he was able to do and what he was able to bring. And he could have, like I said, lost in the preliminary, but he made it to the final. So big
On
shout
time.
out to yeah, absolutely, man. But let's watch this 100-meter race again with our hometown phenomenon, Miss Sha'Carri Richardson.
Guarantees a spot to Paris. He will become the young 100. Here it is. Let's see who's going to Paris. It wasn't the best start from Sha'Carri Richardson. Tamari Davis got in the better. Now Sha'Carri starts to wind up, but she goes past Jefferson. Sha'Carri Richardson, 10:70. Woo!
She ran a 10:70, man. Get out of the blocks. I think that was one of the better starts because I think she stumbled at one time in the preliminaries. So big shout out to Sha'Carri Richardson, man. She did her thing. But DA, what you think?
Strong, man.
It reminded me of two people. Roy Robot Martin, our own Roy Robot Martin from Dallas. You know how he used to just snatch people up and pull away, and Carl Lewis the same way he used to snatch and pull away. Both of them actually wouldn't always be the best starts, but man, they snatch up and eat up like Pac-Man. You know, whoop, whoop, wobble, wobble. That's what wobble, just take off on everybody. So yeah, that girl, man, and to come that journey that she came from with all the controversy she dealt with, to rise above that and actually have the fortitude to keep rising, have strength, and keep her head up and then strive through that. I'm proud of her, man. I'm really proud of her.
Absolutely. But what you think, DA?
Yeah, man, she's pretty strong. If she just keeps doing what she's doing, it seems like she matured a lot from when she first hit the scene. It seemed like somebody's probably really talking to her because she's conducting herself a lot more mature than she was at first, and it's paying off, man. That's how you make the big bucks, man. You take care of your business on the track or the field or the court or whatever you're on, and you have to be above a lot of this mess, away from your specialty, and that's where you're gonna make the money. That's how you get signed, by handling your business on the field, conducting yourself like a professional off the field. Forget all of this hood social media crap, man. Go ahead, go out and get the bag. Go handle yourself, be a respectable person, and get paid, man. Set your family up for some future wealth. So she's doing good. I don't think anybody's going to beat. It's going to take a Jamaican or somebody to beat her in the Olympics.
Well, let's see if we got to get the men's final 100-meter finals. Let's see what these guys did.
Here we go. Who's going to have a spot in Paris? How about Christian Coleman? Christian Coleman, now here comes the honors. Noah Lyles in a 982.
Wow.
He's won another national championship.
I got to be honest, guys. I really had Christian Coleman up there, man. I think if it was a 60-meter race, nobody can touch Christian Coleman. I didn't think, why, but man, Fred Curley, man, he came on hometown Texas boy from Taylor, Texas. So big shout out to Fred Curley. He ran his track at University of Texas, I believe, and he showed a lot of resolve, man. And he hung in there, ran his race, stayed focused to the finish line. And he came and got that place, man. And of course, Noah Lyles, he went on to win it. But man, I thought Christian Coleman was going to be the one. But Bernard came and did his thing, and hopefully he'll be on the 4x100 relay. I think he will be getting the fourth place in the 100. But man, I sure had Christian Coleman in there, TJ. But you say what?
Yeah, he probably gonna run scratch on that 400-meter relay. That 400-meter relay gonna be woo. I think that 400-meter relay can set a world record. They're gonna be nice. All four of those guys can run. So, and Christian Coleman, he gonna start off the scratch leg because he can get out. And it's a shorter, usually, actually a little bit. It can be longer. It depends on how the handoff is. It can be longer or shorter, depends on the handoff. But he can get out. Woo, man. So that's gonna be nice. And I think Noah Lyles will win because he been running well for 2 years at least. Very well.
Well, Did, what you think about the men's final 100 meters?
Did you see? It seems like all the guys in purple were almost like, it seemed to be like 1, 2, 3, and then all of a sudden here comes this orange glare just right at the end, just flew by them all. I was like, because all I could see was purple, purple.
Oh, the
purple.
red.
I'm like,
Yeah.
here
He hit the red.
you go.
Yeah, no allow. Yeah.
No allows right at the end, man. That's gonna be a strong team, man. So gonna be hard to beat. I just wish I was watching some of the other countries. Like, I just wish I was watching some Jamaican TV so I could be like gearing up for who gonna challenge the Americans. That's the only thing
Well, I
I
think
miss.
you can if you go to YouTube and put them in there. I know they had the women.
Oh,
they showed
really?
some of theirs. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I might do
go
that.
on YouTube and put them up. I think you can see it. But guys, we're coming up on the last 10 minutes of the show again, y'all. This is the replay where we're still trying to make your day. We got the last 10, so we're coming up on TJ's segment of the show. Thank you for your patience. So we're gonna see what TJ have for us, man. If he have anything for us this evening, while we say thank you for your patience. Okay, TJ, I had to run that quick, man. But what we got? What you got for us this evening?
As I lean into my brothers, I got a good question for you. What relationship that you've had that you had to have some patience? That patience was a virtue. What was that relationship like?
I let Diego first. So let me put the question up again. Oh my goodness.
You ain't got enough time on this show for me to answer that.
Keep it quick, DA. Give us the clip
Man,
version. The one you
I'm gonna give you quicker than quick. If you ever dealt with anyone who is bipolar or schizophrenic, you just basically gotta have, you gotta keep telling yourself that's not the person, that's the I don't want to say disease, but maybe that's what
trauma.
it is. That's not the person, that's the, you know what I'm saying? That's the
trauma or pain. Yeah.
Yes, that's not them. It's something else. And you gotta have patience to just try to see through it, to make it, day by day, because when that switch is flipped, it's like, okay, we might have just been laughing, watching Sanford and Son. Now I gotta go grab my boxing gloves or a machete or a shield like Thor or something.
Captain America, huh?
Yeah, Captain America. That's just the way it is, man. So that's me. It was, if you're in any kind of relationship with a person like that, it takes all the patience you could ever imagine.
I would like for you to repeat that question again so I can get more clarity with my answer.
I know you're clear, but we all gonna repeat it again. What relationship that you had that you knew that patience was needed and patience was a virtue for you?
You know what? Honestly, when I really think about it, I'm gonna say my children. Because when you're a parent, man, it takes a lot of patience. Because you see like the mini you, right? And we hear this when we was growing up, and we think we know. We just, man, why my dad or maybe even my mother in some instances are being so hard on me. And then we find ourselves repeating the same things that our parents was trying to convey to us to get us to understand. And so, especially with my youngest son, it requires a lot of patience because he's the youngest. He's 17, just graduated high school, and I'm looking forward to him doing greater and bigger things. So I would have to say, man, that patience, that relationship, patience that you have to have with your children. I know I have to have it with mine because sometimes I give you a perfect example. This is gonna have y'all kind of laughing too. So I asked my son, my youngest son, I say, son, go to the store for me because he's driving, got his own car now. Go to the store for me, give me a pint of ice cream. No problem. Did exactly that. But here's the thing. When he came back, we was actually doing a show one evening. When he came back, he set the ice cream on the table while we was doing the show. Go ahead, I'll wait.
Not the freezer.
So you think I didn't have to listen to what I'm saying? D8, this is bug talking now.
Yeah.
Everything in me, I had to push down because I'm asking myself the question: what would make you go get a paint of ice cream,
Put it on the table.
and put it on the table.
Well, I'm doing the show.
And you know what his response was when the show, by the time the show was over with, and I'm asking him this question, he says to me, looks at me, and he says, oh, Dad, I thought you was coming right then to get it. I say, when, son? And then I'm going to tell you the funny thing about it, it happened to be Ramadan. So I was trying to give me something when the sun set. And I had just told him. I said, son, it's Ramadan, give it ice cream. And I may not mention to put it in the freezer, but I'm saying common sense would have said put it in the freezer. So that's what I'm talking about, having patience, man. Having patience with your child, because, man, I swear it seems like my father's talking all over again, man. So, Tim, that's my response to the question. Excellent question, my brother.
Say, Tim,
yes.
Let me say this real quick. When they were over here watching the game, you know, Jabril was hot. When Boston, that was the final, the Game 5, Boston wrapped it up. It was like 3 seconds left on the clock or whatever. Jabril with his son, Jabril got up and said, "Come on, man, let's go, man." And his son say, "Dad, I want to see the celebration."
He so did, Tim. He said he wanted to see the celebration on the floor. I wasn't having it, Tim. I wasn't having it. I didn't want to see no parades. I didn't want to see no extra nothing. I said, no, we gone. We good. We ain't finna win this. I told you, I catch you later. I call you later.
Tim, I lost it, man. I lost it when he said that. He was so serious. He said, Dad, I want to see the celebration.
You know, because he had nobody. I'm not finna watch no Boston Celtics celebrate over my Dallas Mavericks, man. I'm just telling you, man. But hey, I'm gonna tell you something. It'll take my oldest son to tell you, man, what I did when Michael Finley was playing with the Dallas Mavericks. I had him. We was watching the game. He had on Michael Finley jersey, and after Michael Finley sold us out against San Antonio, man, I took the jersey off of him. He didn't know, because at this time he had been about 5 or 6 or 7. I took the jersey. I said, "Give me the jersey." I took it off of him and threw it in the trash. I said, "I'll buy you another one." I told him I'm gonna get you a Dirk Nowitzki jersey. Oh man, he stood up, looked at me like, "What's wrong with that?" So yeah, man, yeah, I don't like losing. I don't like losing. But anyway, that's an excellent question, man. That's an excellent question.
To say this real quick, I'm gonna kind of summation of relationships, and this is the patience. No matter whether it's, you know, whatever relationship it is you have, trust your discernment, right? Because sometimes we get into the situation, we know what it is, we know what it looks like, right? And we've already done it, and your discernment has told you it is what it is, right? Yeah, we move forward. And then we hard on ourselves sometimes. We like, I knew this already. Yeah. Be patient with yourself. You did it because you are a giving person, because you believe in each other and you try to help other people. That's who you are, right?
Right.
And so don't take that away from yourself. That's who you are. That's a beautiful thing. So be patient with yourself, and remember, that's a virtue actually, to be that person, even despite your discernment. You know that the discernment, protects you. But at the same time, it actually helps you as well too. So this is a situation you went into, and you said, "Wow, I can't. I knew this, and I'm in the middle of this, and why I didn't have to be this way." But you know what? It's gonna be all right. You're gonna be stronger. You're gonna be better, and life will be more beautiful, because now you got a strength that you didn't have before. Be patient with yourself.
Right on.
Absolutely. And so now we got a segue, guys. We're coming up on the last 5 minutes of the show. This is the replay, where we're still trying to make your day. So again, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share a notification button, because we are still growing the channel. So coming up on the last segment of this evening, we got DA's Who You Got? Who You Got? So DA. Okay, we're back. So DA, who you got? Who we got, DA? Talk to us, DA.
Man, I'm gonna make this quick, man. I didn't know if we were doing this tonight, but I got it. Just in case, I'm gonna make this quick. Let's go with Kareem or Shaq.
Kareem.
Calvin Johnson or Michael Irvin.
DA, I'm a TA. You got that one.
Calvin Johnson.
I'm gonna say playmaker.
I go Calvin Johnson. Cat Williams or Dave Chappelle?
Oh wow. I'm gonna take Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, I'm Dave Chappelle too. Ooh, that's nice though.
Yeah,
really
I like thinking with Dave Chappelle. I like exercising the mind with Dave Chappelle a lot of times.
Yeah,
Shout out in the chat
Cat
who y'all
Williams,
like.
too.
Tell us who y'all like. Dave Chappelle or Cat Williams?
Yeah, I roll with Dave because he know how to bring it. Gina or Pam?
Gina.
In that show, yeah, you said the names in the show, so it'd be Gina in the show.
Pam all the way. Dan Quinn or Dan Campbell?
Dan Campbell.
Campbell.
Dan Quinn, man. Dan Campbell is he showed he ain't got much brains when they played the Cowboys and the 49ers. So I'm going with Dan Quinn. Dak or Purdy?
Dak.
I'm gonna go Dak.
Woo, see, this is what I was talking about earlier. That right there is exactly what I was talking about right there.
But Purdy is a system
That's
quarterback.
exactly what I was talking about right there.
I saw Purdy
I'm
when
gonna tell you
he
why.
missing one weapon.
But let me tell you
Purdy when
why.
he missing one weapon. He was pathetic when he missed that one weapon.
Then what I'm gonna do?
ain't no truth to this.
But this is why I say that right there. That dude just took his team to the Super Bowl and would have taken his team probably to another Super Bowl if it wasn't been for an injury in the game. Y'all still saying that? That's
no,
what I'm
his
talking
team
about
took
right
him
there.
to the Super Bowl. His team took him to the Super Bowl.
But DA, is he? Because will you agree with Shannon? You know, Shannon Sharp said he's a system quarterback. He benefits from the system.
Whatever. He did what he's supposed to do. Last one.
His team took him to the Super Bowl. You're right. His team did.
Last one. How many players have 2 rings since 2020 NBA?
How many players have
2 championships since 2020?
Wow, good question. Since 2020? Let's see. Kevin Durant was I say 3. I'm gonna say 3.
How many you say, T?
3. I can't even think of one right now. Unless Golden State, unless the guy come up and go. Unless Golden State won 2. I don't remember who won.
He only said got two championships, right? DA.
You talking about since 2020, right?
Since
2020. Since 2020. So they have to win 2 championships since 2020.
And I'm saying 3.
You saying 3? How many you saying, T?
I'm saying 0.
Okay. The answer is 2. Could you name the 2, Jabril?
Dang it! You know what I said 3 because I was thinking about Kevin Durant, but he only got 2. So I would say Steph and Clay.
It'd be Steph, Clay, and Draymond. You're gonna do that.
Well, that's still 3 then. Thanks, Tim.
Neither of those have 2.
That ain't
rings.
it. Okay. All right.
Neither of those have 2 rings. One of them just beat the Mavericks.
Wow.
Oh, see that's not
Jerry White.
See, we're not talking about premium players. You're talking about Drew Holiday, right?
I was talking about players. What you mean premium?
Drew Holiday only have 2.
Drew Holiday got 2.
Yeah, he's one.
In Boston. Okay. And who's the second?
The second one is the guy went from the Lakers to Denver Nuggets.
Contavious Caldwell-Pope.
Yeah, Contavious Caldwell-Pope. So only 2 players since 2020 have 2 rings, and it's those 2.
Man, you couldn't even think about their name unless you give me hints like you did.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's it.
Well, guys, that's gonna conclude another edition. So we got to get our shout outs real quick, man. And of course, you know, I'm gonna start with you, DA. Who you shouting out this evening, my brother?
I'm shouting out the owner of the 429 Salon. They offered their spot for our sneaker ball awards show this Thursday. I won't be on the show. We'll have our award ceremony this Thursday. They dedicated their spot. We got Spud Webbs, Roy Martin, a couple more professional athletes coming out, man. It's gonna be a real blast. Everybody's
Oh
welcome.
man, you don't even. Oh my goodness, you don't even text me, man.
Man,
we'll talk off air later, man. We'll talk off later,
Just
later.
saying. Tim, you're welcome, man. Come on out. It's free. You know, we got plenty of food. It's gonna be nice. We're giving awards to the boys.
Tell the people again, man, who's watching this, man. They can tell a friend and tell a friend that the replay brought y'all this kind of information. Where is it at again, DA?
429 Salon of Lancaster Road in Dallas. This Thursday, 6 to 9. There will be food served award banquet for our organization, Off the Glass Squad.
Oh, beautiful, man. I love that. That's
absolutely, man. Yeah. Brought to you by the replay.
The replay.
Okay, and TJ, who you shouting out?
I'm shouting out my children, man. They just such beautiful spirits, so patient and so willing to actually just deal with anything that comes in, you know, that they see. I'm blessed, man. Just great.
Absolutely. Shout out to niece and nephew, man. Tell everybody their name, man. I mean, little Tim.
Are they still there?
Timothy and Tamaya. Yeah. So Timothy Tamaya, of course, there's Tamaya. He's not here, but Timothy Tamaya is with me, and just beautiful spirits, man. Just a joy.
Oh man, that's beautiful. I told you, man, they lied, man. African American fathers do matter. That's what I put on my post. Well, guys, you know I'm gonna shout out to somebody, man. This is a big shout out, man. Goes out to none other than Mr. Governor Wes Moore. Shout the brother out. Listen to this.
And made some pretty extraordinary things.
Oh yeah.
The Maryland State Constitution vests the power to pardon in the office of the governor, and the governor alone. This is a responsibility that I take very, very seriously. And that is why this morning, with deep pride and soberness, I will pardon over 175,000 convictions
That's a lot, man.
175.
That's a lot. That's a lot, man.
Okay, this so guys, that's my shout out. I'm shouting out Governor.
Man, that's a whole segment, Jabril.
I'm sorry.
That's a whole show right there, man. Whole segment right there, man.
Yeah, I know. But we got to get out of here, man. I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening for the replay where we're still trying to make your day. Don't forget again to hit that subscribe, like, and share button, guys. We're still growing the channel. We're waiting on you so we can be where we're supposed to be. We're bringing you the content. All we ask you to do is hang out with us about an hour, 30 minutes. Every Monday and Thursday. Sometimes we may have to go on Tuesday like we did tonight. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Again, this is the replay. I want to thank my brothers, my co-hosts, Daryl Alexander the Great, Mr. Tim Axton Jackson, all the way from Nebraska. And we're going to be back at you guys again. We appreciate y'all coming on. Stay tuned for other further content. We're going to keep doing this, keep talking about our culture. So good evening to everybody. Sleep well. And as I always like to say, keep God first. Thank you for joining. This has been the replay. Again, where we're good night, everybody.
Blessings, everyone. Blessings.
Pardon us.